Welcome to the Activations with JJ Energy Update for the week of April 5th, 2021. I'm so excited to have you join me this week as we invite in a message and possibly an activation that will serve us this week. It is the beginning of a new month and feels kind of like a new season for the planet, I do believe. And so I think there are some definite things that will help us as we navigate this new beginning type of time. I feel like because in the Northern Hemisphere, we're experiencing spring. It's also a time of rebirth, and that always comes into mind. Just kind of exploring those themes and tapping into what we could bring through today. So something that came to me as I was preparing to record this episode, I felt very strongly the presence of an Indian accent for sure was what was coming through. Interestingly enough, the words that came to me were Sananda. And if you have studied that, many people have theories about that, but one of them is that Sananda is the oversoul that was over Christ, who is embodied here on the planet anciently. And I do not know why it came through with that particular accent, but I'm not sure if maybe one of the times that Sananda was embodied in addition to Christ was possibly in a person with Indian heritage or Indian ethnicity. But I do believe that in coming through that way, it was giving me some kind of hint. I do believe that sometimes it's like the biggest game of Guess Who to bring through whatever it is. And as much as I know that I really am the one here who has the sovereignty to choose and connect with whatever energy I wish to, I do believe that my vibration does attract certain energies at certain times. And so I do set the intention that whatever I bring through is for our greatest and highest good. So we'll just take a moment here to open ourselves up to this message for this week. Thank you for inviting me to give this message today. I will call myself Lord Sananda, but I am many. We are many. We seek to enlighten those who are listening and to honor them as well, for many are soul aspects of very ascended masters who reside on the planet in bodies at this time. This was intentional. And this was enacted in order to bring forth the shift of this planet more rapidly. We come at this time to impart 3 messages as we are invited to do. And again, we thank you for this opportunity. Our first message is this. We invite you to seek out your oversoul, to strengthen your connection with that from whence you come. We ask you at this time and invite you at this time to pause and to imagine the golden cord, which tethers you to that oversoul. You may begin by imagining the cord coming forth from your body, and you may desire to travel with that cord all the way to the place where it is connected to your oversoul, and there discover what that being is. Each of you will have a different higher density being to which you are connected. And in strengthening your relationship with that oversoul, you will begin to receive information and activations more consciously, as previously they were done subconsciously, for the connection has never stopped. It has simply been concealed by a veil that you chose. However, we invite you to remove that veil, if you so desire, and recognize this connection, this link, this cord. Our second message comes from a place of love. In times of fear, we invite you to realize that all is as it should be, that you chose this experience for your greatest and highest good, and for your expansion. And there is nothing to fear. Some will say otherwise, and that is the game that they have chosen to play, and it is very real to them. But again, we emphasize the fact that you have the power, and you get to choose how you play this game. It is not a matter of force. It is not a matter of being a victim. It is taking hold of your sovereignty and using it to its fullest extent. Our third message relates to your physical bodies as they transition and shift to a higher density. Some of you have been taught there are certain ascension symptoms. Those who are teaching this information are not doing so from a place of intentional fear. However, that your experience as it relates to quote-unquote ascension, or moving up in density, increasing your density, your experience is yours alone. Your symptoms, or so-called symptoms, will be the ones which you have chosen to experience or not to experience. Again, we invite you to consider the fact that it is your choice. You are not a victim. Your shift can be smooth, or your shift can be bumpy, whatever your choice is. Again, there are no outside forces that are persuading or manipulating you to have a certain experience. This is very important for you to remember, and we impart this message with love. Farewell. Well, I hope that this message, these different messages, these 3 points were of use to you as you enter this week or this time period. They're definitely things I've actually been thinking about. I'm sure some of you have been thinking about them as well. So just to review what they were, the first one is to connect more with our higher self, our oversoul. Some people might refer to it as your monad. You can look up a little information about that, but go with your intuition because you do have that connection. You just need to bring it forth to your conscious mind. Or if you set the intention to connect more while you're in sleep or meditation or subconsciously, that's fine too. It's your choice. I do feel like the oversoul can offer help, assistance, and guidance. And I think that what I feel is that as we increase in our vibration, that our oversoul can provide for us. What I'm picturing is kind of a transmission of higher vibrational energies that will help us calibrate ourselves to this shift. That's what I'm getting. The second thing was to remember that the dichotomy of bad and good and, the fear, the sort of maybe conspiracy theories, I guess you could call them. It sounds a little bit condescending to call it a game, but I mean, all of this is a game, right? This is all just a way for us to experience something. This earth, this planet, that's my personal belief. But it is important for us because there are a lot of alarmist websites or messages being published out there. Just remember that you get to create what you experience. And I think sometimes we feel, the human part of us can feel sort of, I don't want to say offensive to people who believe that, but just we can get caught up in it and think, oh my goodness, is that real? But I just want you to know, as was mentioned by Sananda, that it's your choice. And the same thing for your body, for your physical state as you ascend. If you want to experience ascension symptoms, that will happen. If you don't need to experience ascension symptoms, it will be very smooth for you. I think that's important for us to remember because there's a lot of information out there in the spiritual world, in the spiritual internet that you can look up. But the bottom line is that you, again, as was told in message 2 and 3, you get to choose. It's your choice how you want this to be. You are a creator. So I'll leave you with that message and then adapt my final words to reflect that. The creator within me honors the creator within you. I hope you have a great week and namaste.